everybody, welcome back to the Kendall and Marin Show. Today we are going to delve into the second half of Unit 5 AP World History, Revolutions Part 2.
Starting off with topic 5.5, new environmental resources increase manufacturing and transportation efficiency.
The utilization of coal as a primary energy source marked a significant turning point in history, offering a reliable and abundant fuel for powering industrial machinery.
The advent of steam-powered ships began a new era of maritime transportation, replacing traditional ships with faster, more efficient steamships. These steamships, fueled by coal-fired boilers, revolutionized global trade and travel by enabling longer voyages and shorter travel times.
However, the reliance on coal for propulsion necessitated the establishment of coaling stations along major trade routes. These strategically located stations served as crucial refueling points, ensuring that steamships had access to coal to power their engines during long journeys.
Coaling stations not only facilitated the expansion of maritime trade, but also spurred economic development in coastal regions. The establishment of these stations led to the construction of infrastructure such as docks and storage facilities, and the growth of port cities to support the burgeoning shipping industry.
Moreover, cooling stations played a vital role in geopolitical strategies as nations vied for control to secure their access to coal and maintain dominance in global trade networks.
New technologies also aided in transportation and communication.
The pioneering work of inventors like Alexander Graham Bell and Guglielmo Marconi revolutionized communication technology, transforming the way people interacted and exchanged information.
Bell's invention of the telephone represented a groundbreaking advancement in long-distance communication, allowing individuals to communicate instantaneously over vast distances. Similarly, Marconi's development of the radio further enhanced connectivity and facilitated the transmission of information across the globe.
The invention of the telephone and radio not only facilitated real-time communication, but also fostered social and cultural connections on a global scale. These technologies played a pivotal role in shaping the modern world by facilitating the exchange of ideas, fostering collaboration, and accelerating the pace of technological innovation.
Additionally, they transformed industries such as journalism, broadcasting, and telecommunication, paving the way for the interconnected society we inhabit today.
The construction of the Transcontinental Railroad transformed transportation infrastructure in the United States.
By connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, the Transcontinental Railroad facilitated the movement of goods, people, and ideas across North America. This connectivity spurred economic growth, facilitated westward expansion, and aided in the development of new industries and markets.
Additionally, the Transcontinental Railroad played a crucial role in uniting the nation and fostering a sense of national identity.
The completion of the Transcontinental Railroad not only revolutionized transportation, but also reshaped social and cultural dynamics in the United States. It facilitated the settlement of the American West and accelerated urbanization and transformed regional economies.
The Transcontinental Railroad also integrated communities and cultures, contributing to the diversity of American society.
Moving on to topic 5.6, the government of the Ottoman Empire was experiencing changes.
The Mamluks, a military class composed of formerly enslaved Turks, wielded significant power and influence in Egypt for an extended period of time. Their dominance over the region posed a challenge to the authority of the Ottoman Empire, which sought to maintain control over its territories.
In response to the Mamluks' control of Egypt, the Ottoman army sought to reassert Ottoman authority in the region. Muhammad Ali, appointed as the new governor of Egypt by the Ottoman Empire, initially resisted attempts to bring Egypt back under Ottoman control.
However, after negotiations and pressure from the Ottoman military, Muhammad Ali ultimately complied, allowing the Ottoman Empire to regain administrative control over Egypt.
The conflict between the Ottoman Empire and the Mamluks highlighted tensions within the empire's diverse territories and challenges of maintaining centralized authority over regions with distinct culture and political dynamics.
Muhammad Ali's governing of Egypt also marked the beginning of significant reforms and modernization efforts in the region.
Japan's economy and government was also changing.
Commodore Matthew Perry's arrival in Japan in the mid-19th century marked a turning point in Japanese history. Perry, representing the United States, demanded that Japan open its ports to foreign trade and diplomatic relations, challenging Japan's long-standing policy of isolationism.
In the face of Perry's demands and perceived threat of foreign intervention, Japan reluctantly entered into trade agreements with the United States, opening its ports to foreign commerce.
These agreements, known as the Treaty of Kanagawa and subsequent treaties with other Western powers, marked the beginning of Japan's transition from isolationism to active participation in the global economy.
The opening of Japan to foreign trade and the influx of Western influence had profound implications for the country's economy and society. The rise of powerful family business organizations known as zaibatsu, similar to the conglomerates of the United States, reshaped Japan's economic landscape, driving industrialization and economic growth.
Additionally, the adoption of Western technologies and practices such as Toyota automatic loom fueled innovation and modernization in Japanese industry, paving the way for Japan's emergence as a global economic powerhouse in the 20th century.
In the wake of Perry's arrival and the signing of unequal treaties with Western powers, Japan faced increasing pressures to modernize and adopt Western technology and methods to protect its sovereignty and traditional way of life.
This led to the Meiji Restoration, a period of radical political and social transformation which saw the overthrow of the Tokugawa shogunate and the restoration of imperial rule under Emperor Meiji. This marked a significant departure from centuries of feudal rule and set Japan on a course of rapid modernization and industrialization.
As part of the Meiji Restoration, Japan embarked on a series of sweeping reforms aimed at modernizing its government, economy, and society. The Charter Oath, a set of guiding principles, formally abolished feudalism and established a foundation for a modern constitutional government.
Additionally, Japan invited European experts to assist in implementing reforms based on Western institutions, leading to the establishment of a constitutional monarchy and the adoption of Western legal and administrative systems. These reforms laid the groundwork for Japan's transformation into a modern nation-state.
Topic 5.7 delves into some new economic structures and businesses.
The emergence of corporations marked a significant shift in economic organization during the Industrial Revolution. Corporations allowed individuals to invest in businesses by purchasing partial ownership directly or through the stock market. This provided a mechanism for pooling resources and spreading risk among multiple investors.
Corporations enabled investors to minimize risk by spreading it across a larger pool of shareholders. Moreover, the structure of corporations facilitated the accumulation of capital necessary for large-scale industrial projects and expansions.
However, the concentration of ownership in the hands of shareholders also paved the way for the rise of monopolies, companies that control a specific business or industry and eliminate competition.
While monopolies could achieve economies of scale and efficiency, they also stifled competition, limited consumer choice, and potentially exploited workers and resources.
Figures like Cecil Rhodes, who founded the De Beers Mining Company, exemplified the power and influence of transnational corporations operating across national boundaries, shaping global markets and economies.
The growth of international trade and colonial expansion during the Industrial Revolution led to the establishment of influential businesses with global reach and impact.
Companies such as the Hong Kong and Shanghai Business Corporation, HSBC, played pivotal roles in facilitating global finance, corporate investments, and banking services.
Similarly, ventures like the Unilever Corporation, a British and Dutch enterprise focused on household goods, capitalized on the growing consumer demand for mass-produced products and established extensive distribution networks to reach markets worldwide.
The expansion of businesses such as HSBC and Unilever increased the interconnectedness of global markets and the consolidation of economic power in the hands of multinational corporations.
These companies wielded significant influence over international trade, finance, and consumer culture, shaping consumption patterns, advertising practices, and production and product innovation. Their operations also contributed to the development of urban centers and globalization of commerce, as cities like Hong Kong and Shanghai emerged as hubs of financial activity and trade.
New developments regarding industrialization increased and changed population dynamics.
The rise of the middle class during the Industrial Revolution brought about significant changes in the consumer behavior and urbanization powers.
With rising incomes, the middle class embraced consumerism, a cultural shift characterized by increased consumption of goods and services.
This fueled the demand for a wide range of products from clothing and household appliances to entertainment and leisure activities. Additionally, urbanization, driven by industrialization and migration from rural areas to cities, contributed to the growth of consumer markets as urban centers became hubs of economic activity, social interaction, and cultural exchange.
Consumerism and urbanization shaped social norms, lifestyles, and aspirations, as individuals sought to attain status and fulfillment through material possessions and urban living. This cultural transformation affected industry, advertising, and social dynamics, shaping the modern consumer society and influencing trends in fashion, design, and popular culture.
Moreover, the proliferation consumer markets fueled economic growth and innovation, driving investment in infrastructure, retailing, and manufacturing sectors.
Topic 5.8 addresses new theories of rule such as communism and capitalism.
Karl Marx, a German philosopher and economist, laid the groundwork for the communist ideology with a critique of capitalism. Marx argued that capitalism inherently led to exploitation and inequality, advocating for a socialist system where the means of production would be collectively owned and controlled by the working class.
Friedrich Engels, a collaborator and supporter of Marx, further developed and popularized communist ideas. Together, Marx and Engels co-authored the Communist Manifesto, a seminal work that critiqued capitalism and called for the overthrow of bourgeoisie rule. The manifesto became a rallying cry for workers' movements around the world, advocating for the abolition of class distinctions and the establishment of classless society.
The communist ideology proposed by Marx and Engels had profound implications for the political and economic landscape of the 19th and 20th centuries. Communist revolutions and movements emerged in various countries seeking to overthrow capitalist systems and establish socialist societies based on principles of equality and collective ownerships.
While communism became a dominant political force in several nations, its implementation varied widely, leading to diverse interpretations and outcomes across different contexts.
The rise of laissez-faire capitalism during the Industrial Revolution sparked criticism from social reformers who viewed the system as exploitive and inhumane towards workers.
John Stuart Mill, a prominent economist and philosopher, advocated for reforms to mitigate the negative impact of laissez-faire capitalism on workers and society. Mill supported the establishment of labor unions to empower workers to negotiate better wages and working conditions.
Additionally, he argued for legislative measures to limit child labor and ensure workplace safety, emphasizing the importance of government intervention to protect the welfare of the populace.
Mill's advocacy for labor rights and social reforms laid the groundwork for the development of modern welfare states and labor regulations. His utilitarian philosophy, which prioritized the greatest good for the greatest number of people, influenced policies aimed at reducing inequality and improving the quality of life for all workers.
Moreover, Mill's ideas contributed to the broader discourse on social justice and the role of government in addressing economic and social inequalities.
There were some societal issues regarding the working class. The harsh working conditions and low wages endured by workers during the Industrial Revolution sparked discontent and led to the formation of labor unions as a means of collective action and advocacy.
Labor unions emerged as organizations representing the interests of workers, advocating for better wages, working conditions, and benefits. Through collective bargaining and strikes, unions sought to negotiate with employers and secure agreements that improved the livelihoods of their members.
The rise of labor unions transformed the dynamics of industrial relations and empowered workers to assert their rights and demand fair treatment. By organizing collectively, workers were able to challenge the power imbalance with employers and improve their working conditions and quality of life.
Additionally, the formation of unions contributed to the recognition of workers as a distinct social class, the proletariat, whose interests often conflicted with the bourgeoisie, the middle class, and investors who owned the means of production.
The Japanese culture was experiencing changes.
The traditional code of conduct known as the Bushido, which governed the behavior of samurai warriors in feudal Japan, underwent significant transformations during the Meiji period. As Japan embraced modernization and westernization, the principles of Bushido evolved to emphasize personal values and virtues rather than strict adherence to hierarchical social structures.
Some samurai, no longer bound by feudal obligations, transitioned to a new role as statesmen and intellectuals known as Janros. These elder statesmen played influential roles in guiding Japan's modernization efforts and shaping its political and social institutions.
The reinterpretation of Bushido reflected broader shifts in Japanese society and values during the Meiji period. The emergence of the Janros symbolized the transition from feudalism to modernity as Japan embarked on a path of social, political, and cultural transformation.
Mahmud II led to the reformation of the Ottoman system using Tanzimat reforms. The Tanzimat reforms rooted out corruption, created secular education, codified and created laws, and created the Hati Humayun, which meant equality for all men, as well as regulated millets, which were legal courts for different religions. Topic 5.9 discusses how economics, culture, and society were affected by industrialization.
The development of mass production techniques, particularly during the Industrial Revolution, revolutionized manufacturing processes. Innovations such as the assembly line and mechanized production enabled factories to produce goods on a scale previously unimaginable.
Mass production led to a significant increase in the quantity and availability of goods. With the ability to produce items in large quantities at a lower cost per unit, goods became more affordable and accessible to a wider range of people.
This democratization of consumer goods transformed consumption patterns and contributed to rising standards of living for many individuals.
The effects of mass productions were extensive. It fueled economic growth and spurred technological innovation, driving industrialization forward. Additionally, the increased availability of consumer goods transformed lifestyles and social norms as people gained access to a wide array of products and services.
However, mass production also raised concerns about labor conditions, environmental impact, and the concentration of economic power in the hands of industrialists.
The rapid urbanization that accompanied industrialization drew large numbers of people from rural areas to cities in search of employment opportunities in factories and other urban industries.
As cities became increasingly populated with work, the demand for housing outstripped supply, leading to the development of tenement apartments. These cramped and often unsanitary living spaces were owned by factory owners or landlords and were typically located in urban slums.
The proliferation of tenement housing reflected the challenges of urbanization and industrialization. While cities offered economic opportunities, they also harbored social inequalities and living conditions that were often dire for the working class.
Tenement living became emblematic of the hardships faced by urban dwellers during the period, highlighting the need for housing reform and urban planning initiatives to address issues of overcrowding, poverty, and inadequate infrastructure.
The emergence of industrial capitalism created new social hierarchies based on occupation, wealth, and class.
At the bottom of the social hierarchy was the working class, comprised of laborers employed in factories, mines, and other industrial settings. These individuals typically performed manual labor and often faced poor working conditions, low wages, and limited opportunity for social mobility.
White-collar workers, on the other hand, occupied the middle tier of social hierarchy. This category included individuals employed in managerial, administrative, or professional roles such as office workers, supervisors, and clerks.
White-collar workers generally enjoyed higher social status and income levels compared to the blue-collar workers, although their status was still lower to that of the upper class or bourgeoisie.
The social hierarchy of industrial society was characterized by stark divisions between different classes and occupations. While white-collar workers typically enjoyed greater financial stability and social standing than blue-collar workers, both groups faced challenges and inequalities within the broader capitalist system.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.